There's a story we've been told about women in leadership for a long time. The story goes like this: women don't reach the top because they lack confidence. They don't put their hands up. They don't back themselves. If women just believed in themselves more, the gender gap in leadership would close. It's a nice story. It's also not supported by the evidence. In fact, research shows that confidence is not the core problem. And when we focus on confidence as the fix, we end up putting the responsibility on women rather than looking at the system and the environments that actually shapes who gets ahead. Today we're going to look at what the data actually says, and we're going to reframe the confidence conversation entirely. Welcome back to Women Leading Beyond Bias. I'm Sandra D'Souza, founder of Elect and best-selling author of From Bias to Equality. Each episode, we look at one of the key barriers women face in leadership, not just what it is, but what's really driving it and what you can do about it. So let's start with the research. In 2011, authors Kay and Shipman coined the term confidence gap. The idea that women systematically underestimate their abilities while men overestimate theirs. The book became a bestseller. The phrase entered the mainstream, and suddenly confidence became the thing women needed to fix. But here's what's happened next. In a 2019 study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology, tracked over 4,500 employees across multiple organizations. It found that women and men had statistically similar levels of confidence at the start of their careers. Similar, not dramatically different. What changed over time was not confidence, it was opportunity. Women who were given stretch assignments, sponsorship, and visibility became more confident. Women who were passed over, overlooked, or managed more cautiously became less confident. The environment shaped the confidence, not the other way around. Then there's the work of Dr. Zachary S., a research psychologist who studied performance on spatial tasks. When women underperformed, it was attributed to lack of confidence. But when he simply told women to attempt every question, removing the option to skip, the gender gap in performance disappeared. The issue wasn't confidence. It was risk aversion in a system that had taught women their attempts would be judged more harshly. And one more data point. A Hewlett-Packard internal report, widely cited since, found that, because it is so famous, that men apply for jobs when they meet 60% of the criteria. Women apply when they meet close to 100%. That's not a confidence gap. That's a risk calculation. Women have learned, often correctly, that they will be held to a higher standard. I see this play out constantly in the work I do with women in leadership. A woman comes to me and says she needs to work on her confidence. And when we dig into it, what she actually means is she's terrified of being judged. She's been in rooms where her ideas were dismissed, then repeated by a male colleague and praised. She's been told she needs to be more strategic without anyone explaining what that means. She's watched less experienced colleagues get promoted while she was told to wait. Her confidence didn't drop because something was wrong with her. It dropped because the environment gave her very clear signals that the bar for her was higher, the margin for error was smaller, and the reward for risk-taking was less reliable. That's not a mindset problem. That's a rational response to an uneven environment. So what does this mean practically? Here are 3 things I want you to take away. 1. Stop treating confidence as the starting point. Confidence is an outcome, not a prerequisite. It grows when you take action, get results, and build evidence that you can do something. You don't need to feel confident before you act. You act, and then the confidence follows. Research from Stanford psychologist Albert Bandura shows that self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to succeed, is built through what he calls mastery experiences. You do the thing, it works, you believe you can do it again. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start with a small action. Let the evidence build from there. 2. Recognize when the environment is the problem. If your confidence is low, it's worth asking, is this about me or is it about where I am? Because if you're in an environment where women's contributions are routinely undervalued, where feedback is vague, where the path to promotion is unclear, your confidence will reflect that. A 2020 McKinsey study found that women who feel their organization is committed to gender equity report significantly higher confidence and leadership ambition than women who don't. The environment matters, and if yours isn't working for you, that's important information. 3, reframe risk and take it anyway. Women have learned to be cautious because the cost of failure has often been higher for us, but caution over time becomes invisible. If you never put your hand up, you never get the opportunity to show what you can do. Research from Harvard Business Review found that women who actively sought out high visibility assignments, even when they don't feel fully ready, advance faster than those who waited for the right moment. You don't have to take reckless risk, but you do need to take visible ones. In the PRISM framework, today's episode sits squarely in mindset, but it also connects directly to impact, because one of the most powerful things you can do from your career is to shift from waiting to be chosen to actively creating conditions where your value is seen. That shift from passive to proactive is not about faking confidence you don't feel. It's about understanding that visibility and action are what build confidence over time. So here's what I want you to think about this week. Where in your career are you waiting to feel more confident before you act? And is that wait actually protecting you, or is it keeping you small? Because the confidence myth is not that confidence doesn't matter. It does. The myth is you need it before you start. The research says the opposite. Confidence is built through action, through visibility, and through environments that supports you. So if your environment isn't supporting you right now, then that's a real conversation to have. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding the environment you're in and learning how to navigate it. That's how we move from bias to equality and how more women step into leadership. I'm Sandra D'Souza. Thanks for listening. See you in episode 4.